Do you like the lighting in here, or is it kind of dim and kind of drab? I have lighting issues. So sometimes if I have the light on, it's too bright and glowing in here. If I don't have the light on, it kind of looks drab. And I'm sort of venturing that it looks better slightly on the drab side right now. I'm just trying to figure things out. How are you today? Do you like the way I babble? Because that's what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to break the ice so I can go and get into the discussion at hand. Now, here I do. Am, ready to do just that. Instead of trying to twist my tongue around and go ooh ah ah ah. I'm trying to work on my delivery. Enough with that already. In a few weeks, we will get a new president. A new president will be sworn in. And considering the past 4 years of Donald Trump, I want to re examine the right wing irrational hatred against Barack Obama. Now, Obama is a unique case when it comes to the hatred, but hating your president isn't unique in itself. I mean, good Lord, we're about ready to depart away, hopefully, from the Trump era. Um, Trump was hated. George W. Bush was hated. Bill Clinton was hated. Ronald Reagan was hated. Jimmy Carter was hated. Richard Nixon was hated in modern times. And I don't know that there was a time when people. I mean, I know that they were that you always had people that loved their president or hated their president, but it seems like more now than ever, people don't take much of a middle ground on their president anymore. The last president I can think of where there was not much of a controversy, and I personally consider him uh, at best mediocre and really honestly a lousy president. Was the first George Bush, George Herbert Walker Bush Senior, George Bush Senior. You can probably tell I don't care too much for the Bush family. Um, well, we need to go back to the year 2008, and really goes back a little further than that. Um, 2008, Barack Obama made history as the first African American president to be elected and serve. Now, myself, when it comes to Barack Obama, I remember during the time period of 2007 2008 when Barack Obama announced his candidacy. Nobody took him seriously in the beginning. And I think that he didn't even take himself seriously. My impression was that Obama was testing his feet on the water for the year 2012. That's what I personally think. I, my impression was that he was going to go in there for a couple of debates, then drop out, and that Hillary Clinton was going to get the nomination. And I kind of think, looking back, I think we all figured that Hillary Clinton was going to tiptoe and get the nomination. And so you got the primaries with various candidates running and all of that. And I remember back then I was a Dennis Kucinich supporter. If some of you don't are not familiar with Dennis Kucinich, I say please get familiar with him. He was a good man. But having that said, I was with Dennis Kucinich. He dropped out. Then I was like, don't particularly care for John Edwards, but maybe I'll get with John Edwards, and then he dropped out. And my options were not too good when it narrowed down to Hillary Clinton versus Obama. Now, between Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama's a rock star. Because I despise Hillary Clinton with an intense passion. Um, well, to make a long story short, and that's quite a task in itself. Barack Obama got the nomination in 2008, and he ran against John McCain and won, of course, and the rest is kind of history in a way. But for somebody like myself, a left-wing critic of Obama, uh, my problem with Barack Obama was he seemed like a used car salesman, like most politicians, and I figured he was just a bullshitter. And I figured he wasn't going to give us Medicare for all, single payer. He wasn't going to do the card check like he promised he was going to do. Um, and I just kind of figure, why the hell should I vote for him? Because he's campaigning as a centrist, and I get a little nervous when presidential candidates campaign too much as a centrist. And so I voted for Ralph Nader in the year 2008. And 4 years later, my heart was with either Stuart Alexander from the Socialist Party USA or Jill Stein of the Green Party. But since neither of them were on the ballot, I voted for Gary Johnson's of the Libertarian Party because Barack Obama was everything I predicted. He was going to be a sellout corporate centrist like Bill Clinton. I wasn't going to go through that again. But enough about me. When he got elected, and I say this about any president. I said this about Donald Trump. I said this about any president. Um, Obama was about to be sworn in. I say give him a chance. And much respect for anybody that would say give your president a chance, even if you're not particularly for him. Um, I am not a supporter of Donald Trump, but when he got elected, I didn't suffer from the Trump derangement syndrome, but I was not particularly happy about him getting elected either. But I say give him a chance. Give Barack Obama a chance. I even say now, give Joe Biden a chance. But here's the thing. The partisan hacks came out of the woodwork and they weren't going to give him a chance. And I guess to them, it was payback time. What I mean by that is that prior to Barack Obama becoming president, we had George W. Bush from 2001 to 2009, a man that was elected under questionable circumstances in the year 2000. Down in Florida, several counties, voter chads. Kathleen Harris, who was the Secretary of State down in Florida, a right-leaning Supreme Court, do the math, George W. Bush illegitimately became president. Now, I don't want you to think that for some reason that I'm somehow pro Al Gore. I despise Al Gore too. I voted third party, as I normally do. So, and I voted for David McReynolds, Socialist Party USA candidate for president. We'll do it again if I could go back 20 years. Anyway, George W. Bush continued the business as usual culture war that Republicans like to promote. You know, the God, gays, and guns attitude. The war on terror, whereby we invaded the wrong country, a country that didn't do anything to us, Iraq, for weapons of mass destruction that weren't there. And we turned the United States into a garrison state where the government was spying on us with the Patriot Act. And we committed acts of torture. And we crushed the Constitution all over the place during the 8 years of George W. Bush. And they fear-mongered. They called Obama a divider. The Bush presidency was very divisive. He may had that G. Willikers kind of Southern hick, kind of fake pleasantness, but he was a very divisive figure. George W. Bush was. The deregulation went on hyper overdrive, and it cost the housing bubble in the year 2007, 2008. America was fatigued at that time, and so it was not exactly a shocker that Obama became president, considering you had an incompetent presidency of George W. Bush and Dick Cheney, and all the misery and failure that they brought to the United States. So, with right wing talk radio, Fox News, and TV evangelical preachers with a politicized message, it was payback time. And what better representation of a payback to target than the first black man to serve as president? Now, anybody who's conservative listening to this, I'm not trying to say black man in the sense of identity politics. I do not engage in identity politics. As you listen with an open mind, what I got to say, you will realize how fair, even if you're right of center, you'll realize how fair I am in my analysis. Just wait up. So anyway, Obama was sworn in, and the attacks went on right away. Of course, prior to him getting elected, there were conspiracy theories floating around that he was a secret socialist, secret communist. He was in Kenya, a secret Kenyan. He's a secret Muslim. Look at him. He went to that church in Chicago. That is Trinity United Church of Christ with Pastor Jeremiah Wright, with the anti-American sermons. Now, let me talk about those anti-American sermons. They weren't completely wrong. What he said wasn't completely wrong. He didn't sound very pleasant the way he said it, but he was largely correct. And that's not even anti-Americanism on my part. He spoke the truth. The United States is capable of evil. Any society is capable of evil. But he did these sermons, but there weren't that many of them. There were probably about 3 or 4 sermons in the past 20 years Obama was in that church. And if let me put it this way, if I were to if I were to go to my church and my priest and bishop would do their homily, and I would be they'll say something that I didn't agree with, would I walk out? Absolutely not. Same thing with Obama. I mean, you're not going to agree. Even if you're a religious person, you go to church or you go to temple or you go to your mosque, and whatever cleric is doing their sermon, you're not always going to agree with what they got to say, especially if they get political. So, Obama was unfairly criticized over the Jeremiah Wright incident. They continued with these attacks against him for actually throughout his 8 years. They accused him of being a socialist. And what did he do that was so socialistic? He gave money to corporations. He bailed out banks. He bailed out insurance companies. He bailed out the auto industry. I mean, the closest thing he done that might resemble socialism was he gave us a crappy healthcare plan drafted up by the neoconservative Heritage Foundation. And it would be called Obamacare. But the original name for Obamacare was Romney Care, because Mitt Romney enacted that damn plan up in Massachusetts. And Obama, being the centrist, and wanting to be a healer and wanting to go and not be partisan and go beyond partisanship, he wanted to find a health care plan whereby Democrats and Republicans could potentially agree. So he figured, hey, I'll borrow a Heritage Foundation plan and and tweak the edges, and hopefully nobody will be on my back. Barack Obama, if you were fearful they were going to call you a socialist, they're going to call you a socialist anyway. You could have not put up a health care plan. They would have called you a socialist. You could actually go to a Tea Party rally and protest against yourself, and they will still call you a socialist. That's how irrational the hatred was against Obama. Now, I mean, it was that Obama was a secret Kenyan Muslim trying to destroy Western civilization. It was that Obama was a socialist and a communist, and he was somehow a Nazi. A black man was somehow a Nazi. And then these people came to these protests dressed up in these ridiculous outfits, talking about saving this republic, that Alex Jones kind of kooky craziness. And well, it was Alex Jones and the Michael Savages and the Glenn Becks out there, and then it was the Rush Limbaughs, the Sean Hannitys, and the Mark Levins, and they were all have different angles and nuances, but they were all criticizing Obama in a very vicious way. Probably the only conservative talk show host that was closest thing I would say to being charitable was Neil Bortz down in Atlanta, Georgia. Because when people used to call in on his show, they would, and he would actually, and they would talk about Barack Obama is a secret Muslim. Barack Obama was born in Kenya. I mean, he would sit there and basically tell them they were full of shit. He didn't actually say shit on the air because FCC violations, but you read between the lines. But he didn't agree with Obama. But someone like a Neil Bortz, and Neil Bortz would think I was a total scumbag if he ever met me, simply because I'm a socialist. But I'll put that aside. At least when someone like Neil Bortz hated Obama, he hated him on policy. What he was figuring was a policy disagreement. He didn't hate Obama because he was black. He didn't hate Obama because he thought he was from Kenya. Because I think that Neil Bortz believed Obama was born in Hawaii. So let me go forward and talk more about this. Nothing Obama could have done would have pleased the Tea Party types, and so by 2010, the Republicans took over the House, and they took over the Senate in 2014. Everything Obama did, he sucked the cock out of all these fucking Republicans, and they still just would not do anything to help him, and to they were vicious against him. They were vicious from the get-go. And and someone like myself from the left, I was criticizing Obama too, but I was criticizing Obama because his policy was too much like George W. Bush. They thought that Barack Obama was Pol Pot or Mao Zedong. But anyway, there were different ideological groups that hated on Obama, and there was some overlap, but I guess you could say that the Obama haters on the right, you could narrow it down to 4 different groups of people. I'm going to mention the obvious first. Racist. I don't mean anybody who's center right is a racist. What I mean is that people who were actually racist, people who actually lived their lives hating people other than themselves. Talking about the white people who are white nationalists, white supremacists, KKK, neo-Nazis, those people who actually went there. The ones that hate blacks, the ones that hate Jews, the ones that hate anybody who isn't Western European white person. Obvious, they were hating Obama. Then you had the white evangelicals or the Christian right, who in a lot of ways, many of them, I kind of think they won't go as far as to join the neo-Nazis and the white nationalist movement, but yeah, they don't care for black people. A lot of them don't. Some of, I'm not saying every one of them, but I think great many of them. And these are the people that they don't go with the white nationalism because the overt white supremacy is a little bit they're uncomfortable by the violence and everything. But if they could wave a magic wand, they will make the brown and black people softly disappear. And that's the kind of persons they were. But they're not necessarily anti-Semitic. Yes and no. They they don't dislike Jews if they're white, but they dislike Jews for their theology, which is really weird. But they're like the most ardent supporters of Israel, but they don't like Jews. That kind of define most white evangelicals. And because they have this mindset about God's chosen people, and they are obsessed over Obama being black with a supposedly Muslim name. They're the ones claiming that Obama was a secret Muslim born in Kenya trying to destroy Western civilization. And there he is. He's making life tough for Benjamin Netanyahu. And I got news for you all. My problem with Barack Obama when it came to Benjamin Netanyahu was that he didn't make Benjamin Netanyahu's life miserable enough. Because Benjamin Netanyahu's a piece of shit. And if you think I'm an anti-Semite for saying Benjamin Netanyahu's a piece of shit, fuck you. But what happened was that these white evangelicals overlap with some of the vanilla conservatives, what I call neoconservatives, when it comes to things like foreign policy. They were like the biggest cheerleaders for the Iraq War. Today, they are like the biggest cheerleaders for an invasion of Iran. These people, there isn't a war which consists of bombing the shit out of brown people in the Middle East that they're not opposed to. They are, I mean, when it comes to war, they are like bomb, 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 and ask questions later. So they thought Obama was too much an apologist for the third world from the preceding Bush years. And the thing about it is that Obama did not withdraw the troops out of the Middle East. It was 2 countries when Obama came in. That was bad enough. It got expanded to 7 different countries. So they should have loved Obama on the foreign policy. He continued the wars. He expanded the wars. You got the red baiters. And I'm talking about people who are on the right who thinks that he thinks that anybody who's a Democrat is a communist or a socialist, that type. And there were people in that category that they sort of fit into. They don't think that Obama was a secret Muslim born in Kenya, and all that crap. They just think that anybody who's a Democrat, whether it's they like unions or they want health care for all or what have you, they just think, oh, Democrats, they're just communists. And probably when they looked at Obama, it was racially neutral in that particular group, and they just view, they're just a bunch of commies. That's how Democrats are to them. So you got that particular group. And then you got your vanilla conservatives like Rush Limbaugh and your Sean Hannity's and Bill O'Reilly and people like that. They may not hate Rush Limbaugh is a racist, but Sean Hannity I do not think is a racist. I actually even do not think that Mark Levin is a racist. But anyway, but the thing is they hate Obama because he's a Democrat, and I know that almost sounds like the people who are red baiters, but it's a little more with the talk radio people. What Kyle Kalinske would call movement conservatism, and movement conservatism consists of the Rush Limbaughs, the Sean Hannitys, the Mark Levins, the Ben Shapiro's, the Steve Crowders, the Dennis Prager's, people like that today. And these people think, as I said, Obama's a Democrat. That's bad enough for them. Anything that's a Democrat is bad. It's just bad, and it's an honor to be a Republican, but if you're a Democrat, ooh, red team good, blue team evil, and that's what it comes down to. Very bland, unimaginative, just barking partisan hackery. And I know I crap on the Republicans a lot on this channel here, but if you listen to this program, I crap on the Democrats too, plenty. I just happen to find more problems with the Republicans on a policy basis than I do with the Democrats on a policy basis. But it's a fine line. But getting back to what I was saying, now, as I said, I think that maybe between the races, between the religious right, the people who are just like anti-red, like political socialist, communist red, the those who are anti-socialist, and then those who are like vanilla conservatives, whether they're secular neocons or just garden variety Republicans or what have you. I would say that maybe the ones that think that Obama was a communist or what have you, I would say not that I want to embrace them, but I can respect them because to them, if they just think anybody's is a commie that's a Democrat, whatever. I would say that Neil Bortz would fit into that category, and of all the major media personalities that shit on Obama during his presidency, I would say that maybe it's not because he was correct, because he's wrong to think Obama was a Marxist and a socialist or a communist. But at least with Neil Bortz, at least there was a level of intelligence. Even if his conclusions was wrong, at least there was a level of intelligence that's lacking in some of the others. And so I can respect somebody who hates me because, you know, they think I'm a communist. I laugh at them because I'm not, and I don't say it like I'm not a communist. I don't do that anymore. I don't because I don't care. I don't care. If any of y'all think I'm a communist, I mean, you don't. You need to take a political science course. That's all I got to say. And and the thing about it is, I have friends from across the spectrum. I have friendship that ranges from Tea Partiers to Trotskyites. I have friends that ranges from Stalinists to social conservatives. I got friendships that ranges, as I said, just a whole, from libertarians to Leninists. I mean, and anything and everything in between. Okay, I mean, the only people I will not be friends with on a political level are people who just tries to be just a total shitbag to me and wants to attack me for my beliefs. And then I take no prisoners, and I can be an asshole. Um, yeah, just cross me. You'll see what I mean. But those, I'm not going to sit there and hate on somebody because they disagree with me. Now, if you're a neo-Nazi or you're a racist, neo-Nazi, white supremacist, if you're yeah, if you're if in terms of Middle East politics, if you're a radical jihadi or you're a hard right Zionist, or in terms of communist world, if you think that Pol Pot of Cambodia was a neat fellow that was misunderstood, all of y'all can fuck off. But as I said, if you're a Democrat or a Republican, if you're a libertarian, if you're a communist, if you're a trot, if you're a paleo conservative, if you're what have you, I don't care. I'm not going to sit there and diss on you individually on a personal level. That's just because I don't operate like that. But anyway, I feel like I wanted to get that out of my chest about the different ideological camps of people who hated Obama on the right. And as I said, I try to be as fair as I can. And if there's any thoughtful conservatives that thought I was a little too harsh out there, in your particular case, I do apologize because I'm speaking in a mindset of somebody that didn't have a lot of sleep, considering I work graveyard shift and I have to go to bed in a little while because I gotta wake up and go to work this evening. So and I'm trying to do the videos a little more often because I'm trying to get this channel to become more relevant. So there you have it. If you like what you heard, press like and comment. If you were utterly disgusted and just feel like puking your guts out because you didn't like my commentary, don't sweat. We'll have a conversation. Comment just the same. Feel free to share the content on this channel. As a First Amendment absolutist, it's my duty to inform you that if you are passionate about something and you have a platform, by all means, utilize it. If you don't have a platform, please develop that platform. Especially if you're passionate about something, utilize it because we're the muckrakers of our time. And most importantly, hit that subscribe button. All you have to do is just subscribe, and you help my channel grow. And let's see where this goes. And to let you know that I am American social democracy. Until next time, peace. Bernie Sanders for president, year 2024. Happy New Year.